And we are live for ESPN San Antonio's first Man Chat, brought to you by Twin Peaks. James Pledger and me, Rob Thompson. We're going to spend the next hour just hanging out. Enjoy your lunch. Reflect on a Monday of, what could have been, what should have been, and nearly what was done. And we'll look forward to this week and all the things going on at Twin Peaks. You know, Twin Peaks is open and waiting on you. Football is certainly back. Twin Peaks is open and waiting for you this week as we head toward Halloween at Twin Peaks. Is this not the best time of the year to go by Twin Peaks? Let's not kid ourselves. There's there's the normal scenic views, and then there's the Halloween scenic views. And we all know things get ratcheted up a bit, and also to go along with that, the leather and lace going on. So you want to head over to the three locations here in San Antonio. Twin Peaks is over on 151 and 410, and De Zavala and I-10. That's my home court, and then Loopland over there on Park North location. Lots of specials we'll get into this week. Eye candy wrapped in wonderful flannel. We'll talk about that as well. But before we go, it's a Monday. And the state of football in the state of Texas, I don't think it's ever been in a more stranger place. Because watching what went on yesterday with the Dallas Cowboys, and, you know, the bottom's falling out. There's 1,000 problems. And then you look over at the Texans, and at least the Texans, to give them credit, James, they realized they had a problem, and they made an effort to begin to rebuild anew. As we see the exit of the O'Brien regime, the short-term rack model that'll be in, and a GM and a coach that'll be brought in for the Texans to, just kind of, turn the page. Well, here we sit with the Dallas Cowboys last week, and we looked at it like this was a pivot point. It was either going to happen or it wasn't. Well, it didn't. And not only did it not, they embarrassed themselves beyond just getting beat by showing, and I heard earlier today that this is just a bunch of guys wearing the same jersey. That's not a team. Does that make sense? Is that basically where we sit today? Almost midway. This isn't a team. It's just a bunch of dudes.
As I watched the last two games, for the first time, and I can remember, the Cowboys have quit in consecutive games, and I can't remember them quitting it all under Jason Garrett. And if that isn't an indictment on the coaching staff, I don't know what is.
Dude, there was nothing to quit. They didn't start. You have to start something to quit it. Yeah, they showed up. They were available for the coin toss. They made a right call. They deferred. But did they have something to quit? There's just zero juice. And again, reasons, excuses. I think some of the things that we have looked at over the last month as reasons are now becoming excuses. Because I look across the league, there are other teams that have had the same issues. You got Carolina with Matt Rule, their college coach. He's never even been in a pro building as a head coach before. And you got a brand new quarterback. They lost their stud. They lost McCaffrey. Now, not for the year, but they still are functioning. The Cowboys, they're just not all in it for whatever reason.
Even with the Texans, as bad as it's been being 1-6, they're trying in every game. There is a legitimate want to out of that team that you see as they try to hang with a very angry Green Bay team, or even the weeks prior when they were playing Baltimore or Kansas City or even Minnesota. Like, they were in those games and they were trying to win them. Pittsburgh, one of the best teams in the AFC. Tennessee, like, they played hard in all these games and they took a lot of these teams into the fourth quarter. Dallas is just not there from the jump. And I'm looking at it, and they paid Amari Cooper, they paid Jalen Smith, they paid all these players, but the one person they didn't play seemingly took his heart and will and want to win with him when he was carted off the field.
Dude, I'd like to think it was just Dak. It is not. It's certainly a lot of it is the lack of Dak. I think that the heart, as you said, it is gone. But there are so many other issues with this
Sure.
team. It seems to be with every day more and more exposed. And maybe that's the McCarthy plan. And maybe he is coming in with the idea that I got to burn this thing down to rebuild it. I can't imagine that, given the situation that he's in, What's up, Cisco? By the way, if y'all are tuning in right now, you want a $50 man card to go check out Twin Peaks? It's easy. Go to espnsa.com to win one of three $50 man cards I'm going to give away this hour. It is easy to do. And when you get that man card, make sure you're heading over to Twin Peaks. 3 different locations here in San Antonio. Heck, you're at someplace else. Maybe you can just use it wherever you are. Thanks for dialing us in. It's Man Chat with James Pledger. I'm Rob Thompson of the Blitz. We got the next hour together. And as I sit and look at what happened there, we're going to talk a lot more about the Dallas Cowboys. If you got any questions, you got worries about your team or whatever, it's easy to do. Jump on the Facebook feed, type up whatever you'd like, and we'll respond to you. And make sure you're registering for that $50 gift card. You know, when you head over to Twin Peaks, make sure you're taking care of your bartenders, servers, and all the industry employees. If you're one of those, Twin Peaks has a great deal for you guys. You know, Monday's your day off. I'm sure you're kicking back right now. So, hey, go get treated the right way. Go get $3.99 party shots and select cocktails for just $5 for all of those service industry types like my son. They'll take care of you for sure. College football, as we saw the beginning of the Big Ten season, and they looked a lot like the rest of college football about a month and a half ago, trying to figure it out. I think the Big Ten refs kind of suffered through a little bit of quarantine issues, weren't fully into their game. Huge upset, and it was fun to watch. There's no getting around what Indiana did, but at the end of the day, it was kind of a gift. On the other side of that, you look at what Michigan and Ohio State are doing. They're kind of what we thought they'd be. Big Ten is here, but I think the story of college football this year, and it's not going to get the pub, James, is the UTSA football program. What a spectacular win that we got to see on Saturday. Mm-hmm. That was as much grit and hard fight that I miss from the Cowboys, that I miss from my favorite teams, that was shown on that football field. I cannot wait today. Today on the Blitz here on ESPN San Antonio, we're going to have head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners, Coach Traylor, join us. Let me tell you, can we go ahead and talk to the AD? Can we get a hold of Ms. Campos and let's start negotiating an extension? Can we do that now? Because the Sharks are coming, man. The Sharks are coming.
Well,
we're going to have to pay Coach Traylor.
He's had 3 different quarterbacks at different points of the season. He's lost them all at some point. I mean, the dude's rolling through quarterbacks game per game, and Frank Harris is back. He has an okay game, has a couple of turnovers, but Sincere McCormick, man, 165 yards, 3 touchdowns, just controlling the time of possession. Sincere McCormick's going to be a dude at the next level.
Leading the NCAA in rushing is Mr. Sincere McCormick. And I think he epitomizes what we see in that football team. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's push the wagon. Those guys just keep going. And the fight that we just saw, this is the same team. These are the same guys we watched for the last 3 years. Now, granted, while the quarterback situation has been dire for UTSA, for the rest of the team, they've stayed fairly healthy.
Yeah.
And Coach Wilson, he didn't have that luxury. Those guys were beat up an awful lot. But again, I think that goes to Jeff Traylor and the new regime and everything that they've done from offseason till now to stay as healthy as they have. I mean, lightning struck with the quarterbacks, but phenomenal. I can't say enough about watching a football team that's only desire is win this play. I don't care about what happens after this. Win this one. And they just add one winning play on top of another winning play, and suddenly momentum is there, even if they're not able to do what they want to do. It's a testament to coaching, and I'm not kidding. Coach Jeff Traylor, this is a guy who is destined for other and better things. Let's see if we can hold on to this guy as long as possible. Up that pay raise. Let's see if we can lock him into a long-term lease someplace where he just can't get out or something like that, because coaches that get this stuff done, they don't come around very often. You don't see these kind of guys that are literally doing it with their force of will. What do you figure on this team? What do you got, about 6 guys that are his, 7 guys that are playing on a regular, that are truly guys he went and got? Or is there even that many? Well, I mean, he's got freshmen. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about guys that are on the field, are not his guys, that are suddenly now his guys and doing things his way in a very different way than Coach Wilson was doing with the previous group. Just extraordinary. Hey, you want to talk about extraordinary?
Recruited for both the University of Texas and Arkansas. Like, you imagine once he does get his guys in, this program is going to be near the top of Conference USA in a very short amount of time.
I absolutely. My biggest worry now is the recruiting pitch that he's going to offer is success immediately, but his competition will be, don't sign there, man. He's going to be gone. You sign with Coach Traylor, he's going to leave in a year or two because he's destined for other stuff. I know what the recruiting trail sounds like. So now he's got to coach against or recruit against not only his current, but he has to recruit against his future and promise and guarantee that no matter what occurs, the organization will remain. And we haven't had that before. So we'll see what Coach Traylor continues to do. That coming off the college football, pro football weekend. And then we get to the World Series, James. And as we do, Twin Peaks got the World Series games live for you. You know, you head over to any one of the Twin Peaks. It's all about your degrees, 29-degree cold beer, 360-degree views of just about every possible sporting event you could possibly catch up with. And the World Series is there. You want to go check out the game. It'll be live at Twin Peaks tomorrow night. You can also catch it here on ESPN San Antonio. The Dodgers and the Rays, you know, my biggest concern was it wasn't going to be a compelling series. You know, I don't know about competitiveness, because competitive and compelling are two different things. You can be compelled to watch a blowout for whatever purpose. But this has become compelling not because of the series, James, but because it is the sum of its parts. The individual games are remarkable to the extent there has been no real flow. You know, the Dodgers have, if you were going to go 51-49, or the percentage of how much one team has dominated another despite wins and losses, I think the Dodgers have held sway. They've controlled the series. But through a series of mistakes and bizarro plays and stealing home and attempts to, the double steal to close a game out, it has been compelling. It is a lot of fun to watch this, if for no other reason. Let me tell you, Tampa, they roll out pitch after pitcher after pitcher that just throws smoke and junk, and you don't know who's coming next. It just shows to the sheer power that the Dodgers offer on offense. There is just no weak link. They just keep coming at you. And as many batters as the Dodgers have had, Tampa Bay is almost right there with pitching, but just almost.
And Clayton Kershaw is rewriting his narrative in the postseason during this World Series with the way he's pitched in these first two World Series games that he's been in. And that, in and of itself, for a guy that is destined for the Hall of Fame, and I don't know if you know this, but he was teammates with Matt Stafford in Little League back up in Dallas.
Yeah, the Highland Park resume. He is, in fact, righting a wrong and erasing what should have been put on his Wikipedia or anything else in pencil. He's always been a dealer. He's always been a dude that was going to win. And for whatever reason in post games, some of it's mental and some of it was physical and some of it was with other guys. But now when you put a guy like Mookie Betts behind him who is going to make the play, and you know that he's going to deal and he's going to keep you safe through 5 innings no matter what, it just makes that game so much easier when he's around. MVP of the series, I'm not sure. I think it's still going to be Mookie by the end of this. But I think Kershaw has certainly cemented the fact that we can no longer say big games, you're not up to the challenge, because he certainly has been. I think that the Dodgers have to remain diligent and not get arrogant, because Tampa has consistently shown you make one mistake, we got you. We're in it. But if you don't make a mistake, it's very difficult for them to manufacture enough runs. But when the Dodgers screw something up, get out of an inning too quick, pull a pitch too fast, whatever the case is, Tampa has consistently exploited that. They just haven't had the bats to consistently keep the lead as they fought through this.
We've got 3 Twin Peaks $50 man cards that we're giving away during this live stream. And since we're about 15 minutes in, let's go ahead and give away that first one. That first one, if you're going to, let's give it to Vince. Vince Trevino.
Hey, Vince, congratulations, Vince.
For our Twin Peaks man card here on this man chat here for ESPN San Antonio's virtual live stream brought to you by Twin Peaks. Vince, we will contact you shortly, and if you would like a chance to register to win one of these remaining 2 $50 man cards from Twin Peaks, be sure and sign up at espnsa.com. We're giving away 2 more before the end of this live stream, so
Get on it. We got a lot of time. Easy to do. Go get yourself registered. Go to ESPNSA.com. Let us know you're here. Appreciate you, Vince. Thanks for dialing in. He's got a $50 man card to any one of the 3 Twin Peaks here in San Antonio. Keep in mind, open daily. If you want to head in there and celebrate a holiday that I'd like to think it's a day that it should be, once a month. But tomorrow, James, the 27th, it's a National Beer Day.
Is that the best day?
Well, I thought that was every day. Certainly every day that ends in Y. But if you like your ice cold beer or an ale or a hoppy IPA, you're one of them types. The 27th is for all beer lovers. Come into Twin Peaks and celebrate American-made brews. Get your favorite Twin Peaks locations all around you and raise a glass and celebrate National Beer Day tomorrow. And if you continue here, we got $100 in gift cards to give away. That's $250 that we're going to give away. $150 and another $50. Hang on and stay with us over the next hour, and you might have a chance to take that $50 man card, head into Twin Peaks, and drink a couple of icy cold American brews as we celebrate America with an icy cold IPA.
Talking about college football, one team we didn't talk about is on a bye this week and get back to action today. And you, being a fine graduate of the Institute of the Texas A&M Aggies, what do you think about what you've seen so far between Alabama, Florida, and then the game after with Mississippi State? Are they finally turning that corner under Jimbo Fisher? Can this be a team that at least competes to be in the top 4 if 2 teams from the SEC get in there?
Well, they're favored to win every game from here on out. I think that they're each – Auburn certainly is having issues, but you never want to count them out. And LSU, well, there's some trouble with LSU right now. So I think A&M is going to win out and look pretty good doing it. Now, have they turned a corner to deal with the likes of Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State, those bluest of the blue bloods? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're going to have to perform well in that game, and we won't see that this year. They might get an opportunity to deal in a high-end bowl, but I need to see the Aggies go in and physically dominate a football team. That's what Jimbo wants to do. The funny thing is, as Jimbo strives to put together this dominating offense, this mixed offense of run and pass and power running and, the Jimbo Fisher style that won in Florida State, and it has been part of what A&M has tried to do as Jimbo arrived. The rest of the SEC is changing. The Aggies have become what the SEC was, and then you look around at Alabama and you look at what both the Mississippi schools have done, and they're flinging the ball and they're running 130 plays a game, and they've got high activity on offense and still trying to build on defense, but it's become a scoring league as opposed to a ground and pound league. And I wonder if the trajectory of what Jimbo is trying to do is either of a great benefit because they will be zagging when other teams are zigging, or will it be one of those things where you just look like you're out of touch and the rest of the league is trying something else? So that's a long-term issue. Short-term answer, James, is, this team, if they stay healthy and Kellen Mond stays in the zone, or, at least on the same wavelength as Fisher, this is an effective football team. But for them to become great, I feel like Kellen's going to have to become his own man. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's had 3 years of starting, this being his 4th. And if it was going to be that, if we were going to see a guy that is capable of taking a broken play and beating you with his arm instead of his legs, I think we would have seen that by now. We haven't. So I think at the end of the day, when we talk about talent for talent, the great separator, as in the NFL and college, is your quarterback. And if your quarterback isn't capable of making that play on his own when everything else has gone south, you're just not going to do it. And Mont's going to have to prove that. And he never has yet. I mean, he's won some big ones, certainly.
Didn't we see it against Florida a little bit, though?
We did. We saw I think Florida's going to turn out to be a bit of a paper tiger. I don't think they're going to turn out to be as good as they had with that early run. But no, I'm not taking anything away from them. Are they in the upper echelon? Are they a top 10 football team? Absolutely. But the goal is to be, when you play the likes of Bama and you schedule the likes of Clemson, that there's genuine fear on the other side. There's trepidation about signing. When you sign a game with A&M, you know this. You're going to get a huge coverage. If you go home and away, you'll get an opportunity to come in and beat A&M in a very rich recruiting ground, and it'll give you a good enough game to where you look good doing it. That's fine if you're trying to get payday games, but I want it to be a little bit more difficult for A&M to schedule games. I want teams like Clemson to go, nah, not that year because my conference is hard enough. And A&M's not there yet. On the other side, we saw Texas do Texas things. Joining James Pledger, I'm Rob Thompson. We're doing the ESPN San Antonio Twin Peaks Man Chat. It's Monday, and because it's Monday and we're all suffering, unless you're a Texas fan with a nice win over Baylor, we're giving away $50 man cards here to go check out Twin Peaks. We got a couple more to give away here over the balance of the hour. Easy to do. Jump on the ESPNSA.com. Get yourself signed up there. Say howdy on our Facebook feed as we broadcast live for up until around 1 o'clock, talking Twin Peaks. Have you heard about Twin Peaks party packs, James? Have you heard about it? Because the party packs, there's something else. They're perfect for tailgating. Quick and simple dinner option for the family. Twin Peaks family-style meals include an entree, choice of side, house salad, butter rolls that will feed a home team for 4. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com to order your Twin Peaks. Party Girl will walk right out and deliver it curbside. Twin Peaks, they'll feed you and take care of you inside. And if you're just craving those scenic views, you get it driving by, picking up curbside, the family pack. Food is scratch made. And by the way, you can pick up the scratch made food. You can take the alcohol with you. Take your alcohol to go, featuring liquor, cocktails, wine, and beer available through online ordering to pick up curbside. Again, visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com to make your order. You get your crafted beer, you get your food, you get on home, enjoy the scenic views, and at the same time, and have yourself a fine meal.
Rob, so we're sitting. But can you tell me a little bit more about the $3.99 special during the Leather and Lace week of this aromatic shot that they have that's just $3.99 and exactly how you described it again?
It's Jägermeister, man. And somebody at the Twin Peaks for $3.99 probably did a little bit of testing. You know how you test a coffee, you go, oh, that's a rich herbal note. That's got tones of moss and flinty stream. No, Jägermeister, let me see how they described it. It's bitter, it's fruity, it's spicy, and it's aromatic aged. That's Jägermeister. $3.99 as we celebrate Leather and Lace. Head over to Twin Peaks, all 3 locations. Got the party going on. You got the costumes coming on over the weekend. Let's celebrate responsibly, socially distanced, but celebrate appropriately. Oh, those scenic views. Looking at the Dallas Cowboys, James.
Uh-oh.
It's not in Jerry to have
admit a mistake?
I think there's something to that. I think it's very difficult for people that have been successful in a variety of different avenues to admit that they're out of their depth. And I think the worst thing that's ever happened to Jerry was winning a Super Bowl fast and thinking that's the way to do it and that's the only way to do it. And I'm going to continue to do it that way because that's how I've been successful. Drilling oil wells and buying property and land and everything that calls for speculation and optimism, he's maintained that. But he has managed to put together a football team that is like a 10-man. They literally don't have a heart. They had a heart. His name was Dak, and Jerry chose not to pay him. So can he come to the realization that the road that he decided to take, I'll say 3 years ago, when the signings began and Dak wasn't a part of them, can he turn around? Is he capable of being what every wife, girlfriend in the world has asked prior to the day when we had all of our maps on our phone in our cars? Will you just turn around and go ask for directions? Will you just go find somebody to help you? Because right now, he needs some help. Whatever's going on inside ain't working. The idea behind McCarthy, man, I buy it. I get it. No, if anybody sits here today and can say without hesitation, the day they hired Mike McCarthy was a huge mistake, hey, more power to you. But you're in the great minority. This, on paper, didn't look like a bad hire. Super Bowl champ, seemed like he had a little bit of a harder edge than Garrett. I believe he does. But evidently, this football team's been taken care of in a way that they can't respond to whatever Mike McCarthy is offering. I don't know where the answer is. No, I'm tired of the injury aspect of this, too. That you can lose. There's no shame in getting beat. There is shame in
not showing up.
Yeah, and not showing up, not trying, not doing your absolute best. I mean, it sucks to lose, and you have to find individual ways to keep yourself motivated. And the Cowboys have relied on money. Money will keep you motivated. That chase for, that ongoing part of, but the great teams, money is secondary. The great teams, money comes from success. And with the Cowboys, the money came long before success for all the stars. And there's not enough a need there.
Jeffrey Serta on our Facebook live stream says, is it possible they part ways with McCarthy after one season? I've been on the bandwagon of, you've seen what's going on. It's not working. You made a mistake. Pull the plug. I just don't know if Jerry is willing to admit he made a mistake in his coaching hire, because if you remember, he did Marvin Lewis and hired Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy was a planned hire before the season even ended, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's willing to admit that he was wrong with that.
Well, here's the thing. What I think about McCarthy right now, and I appreciate everybody joining in, they definitely need to part ways with Nolan. That's another conversation, Ron. Mike McCarthy has now got a different job than what he was hired for. McCarthy was hired to coach Zach Martin and Travis Frederick and Tyron Smith and Lael Collins, and have this offensive line that was going to move the football and kind of put Dak in certain situations to be successful, and keep an offense where Kellen Moore had a little bit of control in that continued relationship with Dak, and score some points and be effective. Well, all of that fell out the window. So if I'm Jerry and I'm looking at McCarthy right now, this is not the same team, and it's not going to be the team that you were hired to take care of. And then you add on all this other stuff. I'm not sure if I'm Jerry looking at it from the outside with no vested interest in this, I would have fired him last night. And it's no hard feelings for you. They just not listening to you, man. Mm-hmm. Whatever the problem is, you got here long after this problem began. I brought you in to stem the problem. Well, the problem has grown exponentially now. And this is not the gig I hired you to take on. So no hard feelings, but it's time to go. Because we're about to have to blow this thing up. I hope we've all come to this realization that this $100 million Amari Cooper guy, we're going to have to bite the bullet there. This guy ain't worth it. Jalen Smith, dude, been a pleasure. You are an inspiring individual. There's a lot of people that are walking around today that had the injury that you had and look at you as a reason to work out every day to get better. You have done miracles. But on the football field,
what about the $90 million Zeke Elliott?
I can't pay you. Then you get to the problems, James, that you can't fix, that you have sown yourself in. You've painted yourself to this corner, and I don't think you can step over it. You're going to have to hang on to this $90 million back. There's just no getting around that one. But the other ones, you're going to have to figure a way, and it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be embarrassing. You're going to have to admit mistakes and carry on, because we're almost to the point, Cowboys, where apathy will take over. We're not there yet because we're still furious, but fury turns to apathy real quick if I see the same thing over and over and over. And I don't know about you, but watching the last 8 minutes of that football game was as painful as anything I've ever watched as a Cowboy fan. It was discombobulated. You've got a rookie quarterback who, you've got 8 plays. He only knows 8 plays. We're going to have to run these 8 plays. Defense doesn't care. Defense is a step short. Watching my cornerbacks, watching my linebackers, and reading their name and number as they chase somebody down the field week after week after week, it's getting to the point where it's almost unwatchable. And Jerry can put up with losing. Once
again, this Cowboys defense gives up nearly 400 yards. Over 200 of it is on the ground.
And here's the difficult question. You are looking at a team that is woefully mismanaged financially. You've allocated funds way too often to the wrong and too few of people. And now you're dealing with Dak. And Jeffrey brings up a great question. Thanks for dialing in, Jeffrey. Mm-hmm. Do you think they'll franchise him? Well,
I don't think they can.
I don't think they can. If we're talking about the wholesale
$5 million in a flat cap season,
that's off the top, baby. We're talking about 39 off the top. No spreading it, no kicking it. They literally have to sign him. But the question really comes down to, and I think it's worthy of consideration, if I'm Dak Prescott, do I even want to come back? We have to. We're not. We Dallas Cowboys. They are, they're moderately good looking. They lost a little bit of weight.
Mm-hmm.
They're still a little overweight, but they're in the game. I mean, we're an attractive date, but we're not as attractive as we think we are. And to be successful with whom we want to date, we've got to be on it. We got to dress well. We've got to plan things out and look like the appropriate mate. Dak Prescott's looking at the Cowboys going, gee, I don't have to come back to this. I can go get paid elsewhere and not put up with everything that I'm looking at, because I'm looking at a prospect with no Tyron Smith. That looks like that's a very short-term thing for him. La'el Collins, I don't know. What kind of car wreck are we dealing with?
That's the one contract I can get behind.
I'm just talking about his long-term health. I don't know what the hell's going on with this dude. What kind of car wreck was he in? So both of my tackles are in trouble. I've got some young guys that might turn out, but right now they're getting me killed. So why would I want to come back to a team that really doesn't have any prospects for a Super Bowl? I've already proven my worth. I think it might be a little bit more difficult because it wasn't like it was good before, and the suitors are coming, man. The suitors are coming. So I think we have to look at it the other way around. Does Dak want to come back? But either way, this isn't just about Dak. It's so much deeper than that. And I think we have to realize that while our focus over the last 4 years has been what are we going to do with Dak and everything else, I think everything else now needs to be looked at, because the fundamentals have been lost in the chase for the big name, the splash sign, the worthy of front page news with $100 million for a wide receiver, and Jalen getting it even though he didn't deserve it, and Amari Cooper trading. I mean, it just they haven't done it right.
Well, here's the real question, Rob, then. If that's the case, and thanks for joining us on the ESPN San Antonio Man Chat, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Don't forget that Leather and Lace costume call-out and the Jaeger specials. The wicked good costume parties here. Get to Twin Peaks October 29th through the 31st. Catch plenty of eye candy wrapped in leather and lace, and enjoy your $3.99 Jaeger shot specials, in which Rob has just a wonderful way of teasing Jaeger.
No, I don't have. No one has a good way of teasing Jaeger. You're either in or you're out. $3.99 shots. It's fruity. It's spicy. It's Jaeger.
But the real question is now, some of these contracts that they're in, it's not like Amari Cooper's easy to get out of because the dead cap money that will remain because he just signed this offseason. Same goes for Zeke Elliott. The dead cap money almost makes him unmovable at points in time.
You get one of these.
But with the trade deadline approaching, should they be looking at a exodus, or should they be looking at possibly bringing in like a Ryan Fitzpatrick to study the ship?
No. There is no need to bring in reinforcements. This is done. We have to expect the finality of where the Cowboys sit. They just got pasted by the Washington football team. Pasted. So we have to realize that the Dallas Cowboys are if they're not the worst, and the Jets, boy, they got something to say about this. They are the second worst football team in the NFL. So to even
Atlanta's making a pretty good.
No, Atlanta, we'll talk about them in a second. They're just stupid. That is the dumbest football team to ever set foot on an NFL field. They have lost 2, and you could even go 3. 3 games were lost solely from the neck up. Solely, not for lack of commitment, or they lost 2, and you can throw a third one in for just being an idiot. And I'm not sure if that's not worse or not. That is the dumbest football. How do you lose a football game because you accidentally scored a touchdown? How on earth do you score a touchdown accidentally and then give a minute and a half to Matt Stafford and that offensive juggernaut to drive the field and take you down? If I'm Arthur Blank, man, I fire the next crew too. Hope y'all didn't unpack those boxes. Everybody's gone now. And Jerry, take a note, man.
Take a note.
Take a note. Look at what's going on down there. Once you do it the first time, it gets a whole lot easier.
Well, apparently not, because he just did it the first time with the hardest person to do it with, Jason Garrett, and now he's making the exact same mistake, it feels, with Mike McCarthy, because he doesn't want to admit that he was wrong in his hire. This is the Man Chat, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Rob Thompson, James Pledger. What do you say we give away another one of those 2 remaining $50 man cards we have to Twin Peaks?
Hit it.
I say let's give it to Chris Villasenor.
Hey, Chris, congratulations. You just won a $50 man card to Twin Peaks. Chris Villasenor just got it. You can, too. Continue listening here for the next 20 minutes or so, 24 minutes or so.
Register at ESPNSA.com.
Keep going. Twin Peaks is live and coming at you. All 3 locations are open and actively serving you. You're looking for a sporting event? Of course it's going to be there at Twin Peaks. 360 degrees of man cave beauty. Leather and lace going on all week. You got your Halloween party coming up on Saturday night. You got Jaeger shots for $3.99. You know, it is fruity with a hint of spice. You get that on the way down and on the way back up. Well, it's a little bitter, more bitter coming up, but you get a little bitter going down. But either way, you got the Jaeger, $3.99 a shot for all those that like to take care of that. And your party packs, if you're not comfortable going out, but you're still missing the Twin Peak vibe, you know, you can pick up the food. Go to twinpeaksrestaurants.com, twinpeaksrestaurant.com for all the details with the party packs. You can take the whole meal and the booze with you. Just pull up, you get a little bit of that scenic view as she comes right out and takes care of you in her leather and lace, or lack thereof. And you can take it on right home and take care of it. Go to twinpeaksrestaurant.com for all of your online ordering. They are open and waiting for you. But, you know, on days like this, go sit out on the patio for lunch. Get you something scratch made. I recommend the Huntsman's Platter and a nice dark beer as you kick back and maybe watch the F1 replay. You know, they had the Portuguese Grand Prix. I'm sure if you were of the right mind, you could have caught that at Twin Peaks. They'd have found that for you as well as car racing continues.
See, for me, I go with the chicken fried steak or the pot roast.
Pot roast. I just like saying
especially with roast. The cold weather moving in like it has.
Speaking of, dude, you heard what's coming in this afternoon? About 4 o'clock, we get the Arctic blast. And by the morning, it's going to be like 48 and rain. It's going to be a miserable day. Sure, tomorrow will be the first. Coming? Is it a bomb cyclone or is it a derecho? Remember the derecho that hit Iowa?
The derecho.
The derecho might be worse, but I don't think we have that. I just think we have our first Nordic blast. We saw it yesterday. Jeffrey Serta, Billionaire Bacon, yes. We saw it yesterday up in Denver. A little bit of a icy cold game with Kansas City and the Broncos going on. You know, as we saw Kansas City just be Kansas City yet again and do it in a different way.
Yep.
Now the debate, as we know who's good and who's not. I think now I can name the Super Bowl champ if you give me 4 teams. I think I can already do that.
All right, give me the 4.
I'm pretty close.
Give me your 4.
I think right now, as I said, it's very strange that I don't see a lot of power in the NFC. You know, I like Tampa.
Okay.
I think Tampa's the power. Certainly Pittsburgh.
There's another power there that lost last night.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's right in there.
No. I'm talking about Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. I think Seattle they would be number 5 to me. I think that defense kind of sucks. But I will say this. Dallas Cowboy fan, I want you to look at what the teams that smoked you, that absolutely destroyed you, did post-Cowboy. At the very least, the Cowboys are a springboard because the Cardinals seem to have found their rhythm again. Look at what I know that Baker had a down week, but back up. We saw the Baker from the Cowboy game a couple of weeks ago. So if you want to feel a little bit better about yourself, some of those teams we thought were going to be awful aren't. They're a little bit better than we expected. So that you're not as bad as you might think you are. You're still the second worst team.
I mean, Atlanta's still bad.
Atlanta's awful. But again, they're stupid. There's 3 wins they should have had just because they're not. I mean, if they were just moderately NFL-wise and just football brains would have won 2 of those games, probably all 3 of them. So, no, I have no pity for Atlanta. I even tweeted out yesterday, as bad as it is, at least I'm not a Falcon fan because I don't know what's worse. Would you rather have no heart or be just flat out stupid?
Stupid. I think I could coach stupid.
Ignorance is bliss.
Heart's hard to get you. Like, it's hard to make somebody want something.
I guess that's true. Either way, the Cowboys did not want it yesterday, and it became very apparent. The Bostic hit. That not only showed there's a problem. If this guy doesn't get suspended, for what is the most malicious hit I've seen. I don't know. It will never be compared to the Myles Garrett swinging the helmet, but it's the same thing.
Reports are one's not coming.
I know, and I don't understand that, but that's for wiser minds than me. But to not come to the defense.
Wow.
It's just
for dramatic effect.
Well, the term I want to use, I don't think I should use, but it's not cowardice. I mean, there's one thing for, you're embarrassed, you're ashamed, the team you're on isn't very good, you're not playing very well, you're mad at everybody around you. But you never let somebody pick on your boy. You never let your quarterback get smoked like that with what was an obviously dangerous and flat out malicious hit. Everybody knows that dude's sliding, and you led with your head. To not even step to him, to not even say a word. Now, if you're a rookie lineman, you might not have realized what had happened. You're not sure about the etiquette. But I don't care if you're in 8th grade, you're in Pop Warner, somebody pops one of your guys with a dirty hit, especially your quarterback. Hands are flying, man. I'll take the penalty. That is something that I will go ahead and invest in for future returns. I'll take the $50,000 fine. You ain't doing it to my guy, even if I don't like him, even if I don't even know him. He's on my team. Those are my colors. And I said earlier, it's a bunch of uniforms, man. It's not a team. It's a bunch of guys wearing the same color shirt running around there. And if you don't trust that the guy beside you's got your back, you don't trust that no matter what, I got a man that's going to lift me up, protect me, and take care of me, and I'll do the same for him. You got nothing. You literally have nothing. Now, if you want something, go to ESPNSA.com. Get yourself registered for a $50 man card. We're giving one away here in the next 15 or 20 minutes. Easy to register, ESPNSA.com. And if you get that $50 man card, you can head over to any one of the 3 Twin Peaks and enjoy all the specials that are coming up on one of the best times of the year to go to Twin Peaks. Not only do we have every possible sport it seems to watch over the next couple of days, but it's also Halloween and all the great stuff that happens at Twin Peaks when Halloween season comes around. The leather and lace will be going on all weekend long. Costume call out and Jaeger specials, $3.99 Jaeger will be happening. It is bitter, it is fruity, it is spicy and aromatic and aged to perfection in German oak.
Aromatic's my favorite part of it.
It is. It smells. It's $3.99 a shot, and it's wonderful. National Beer Day is tomorrow. Go celebrate appropriately. You know what I mean. And have yourself an icy cold beer. You know it'll be 29 degrees or colder with all the things that need to be along with your cold beer at Twin Peaks. Head on over. $50 man card to be given away here in just a bit.
Okay, I've got a question for you. Let's say Jerry does the unthinkable, and it's one and done for Mike McCarthy.
I call Wade Phillips. I would have already been on the phone with Wade Phillips and said, buried the hatchet, apologized profusely, offered him an interim, maybe possible head job. But no matter what, if you want to be my DC, it is your gig, man. I will hire a head coach and you will be the DC. You'll be my buddy Ryan. But I think that's the most appropriate guy to go get right now because Wade's at the end of his career.
I mean,
he has absolute credibility. Every player knows. And we also know that Wade, no matter where he's been, has a certain lifespan. I mean, he just, for what it is, Wade only good around you for about 4 years. We're not asking for 4. We're asking for 6 weeks, and I want you to show up here, and I want you to be Paul Bryant and showing up at Texas A&M back in the late 30s. And I want you to take these boys to Junction. And when you come home, I want you to take these boys to Junction. We'll call the Cowboys Stadium, Junction, Texas. And at the end of the season, I want to know who wants to be here. That's all I want to know. As general manager, I want to find out who wants to be here and who doesn't, regardless of money.
Who's the coach then for the Junction aspect post McCarthy? Not the interim guy like McCarthy, but who would you like to see come in to change the culture?
Dude, I have no idea because I don't know where I'm headed and I don't know what I got because what I thought I got under Jason Garrett, I don't have. Now, I know I have a very good quarterback. I know I have a guy that will lead this team in reserve. So that's one good thing. I know that I've got some young talent on the edges. I got a Zeke Elliott, despite the rough patches, who's a pretty consistent top 5 running back. So I do have some things, but I don't know what I'm going to be. So as far as what coach, shoot, come in and sell me. Surprise me.
Would you do what
Tell me something
you're doing with Deshaun and get your quarterback's info on who he would like have brought in?
Well, I don't know who I think. Yeah, if I'm going to keep Dak, certainly he's going to be the next to last interview. I mean, he'll interview with Dak, and then he'll interview with me as the owner. I mean, it'll be that close. But I don't know if by Jerry's actions,
because it
if Dak's the guy.
Like Dak was involved in the process with McCarthy. That felt like a predetermined decision.
I think so. I don't know if Dak, if Dak's part of this future or not. By Jerry's actions, he may not be. By his words, he certainly is. But by his actions, in every possible turn, he has done what Dak lovers hate. I mean, he has just chosen not to pay him and never offered the absolute adoration that only a contract can prove. So I don't know. I expect he'll be back, and I think that he should be a part of it. But I do think that you go get a guy who doesn't expect long term, who's just here to, get one more shot and maybe, get your name back out there. I don't think Wade needs to worry about that, but he's recent to the game. He is available, and he's a defensive mind. The offense is beyond repair. To expect this offense is going to be able to do anything other than be what we've seen over the last 3 weeks is ridiculous. They don't have an offensive line. The wide receivers are indifferent. How many times have I seen short arms? How many times have I seen juggle to drop passes? They don't care. So I have to write the offense off. I can bring in a defensive mind and start looking toward the future. Jason Minnick's our co-host here on The Blitz. We'll get going today at 4 and look all at it. Likes to talk about the Cowboys in a situation where, you can't get rid of Amari Cooper because you gave up your first-round pick. I don't buy that anymore. I think the future is all I care about. I'm going to look at the game film for Washington and everything else. If I can move my chess pieces without costing me too much money, I'm going to do it. Because what is it going to be worse? Am I going to give up more points? And am I going to get another quarterback beheaded? I mean, what's worse here? At the very least, if you start moving your chess pieces, you can start planning for the future. And I think Jerry had a different plan up until yesterday, about 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, I think the plan's changed.
The thought process this offseason, and I said it even when it happened, if you have to pay Amari Cooper because you gave up a first-round pick, is short-sighted and irrelevant in terms of everything else. You have to look at what you have and see, is he part of the future, and is what he's commanding worth the salary cap space that I'm going to have to give up, knowing I've still got to re-sign my franchise quarterback whose price is only going up. And the fact that you decided to hitch your wagon to Amari Cooper because you gave up a first-round pick shows your unwillingness to admit a mistake again. Jerry has this fault of, I have to be proven right, to a detriment of the team at points.
It's a fault, and it's not about being proven right. I just think that Jerry just sees the best in everybody and expects that best to come, and hasn't matched personalities very well, or at least let whatever Garrett did in the past affect the psyche of this team to the extent that they crack under duress. I can't figure out how we got to where we are, because we started this show talking about how the Cowboys quit. They didn't quit. They didn't even show up, and that's presenteeism, and that's worse than anything. That's flat out theft.
They quit against Arizona the week before, and because of that, they never regained any kind of momentum during this week, leading into a huge game against a division rival, which says even more about McCarthy's ability to motivate this team.
I completely agree. Are we ready? Have we got all our man cards?
We got one more man card to give away. I'm going to say let's give it to David Echeverria.
I think we're going to need to spell that, James. Echeverria.
Echeverria.
Makes sense to me. Hey, we want to thank everybody. Edward Echeverria, you are a man card winner, $50 man card. Thanks for going to ESPNSA.com. This has been Man Chat live on Twin Peaks. brought to you by Twin Peaks here on Facebook. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys hung out with us. I'm glad I got to throw a little bit of money around. The leather and lace is going on all weekend long. I'm seriously, head over to Twin Peaks. They're open and waiting for you, following all the protocols. The food is spectacular. The specials are in play. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.